we had a production, and working with her was for me, I thought my mother was a very tough teacher, but Aryan was even tougher because she did a great production, and we had very the response in those countries for our culture, because our drums are the most important thing in our dance. And when you play the drums, they are mesmerized, because this is something alien to them. They have seen a lot of Indian dance, but they are not aware of Canadian dance or Sri Lankan dance for that matter. So everywhere we went, the applause was tremendous, and they are so shocked that being Sri Lankan and that we had our own unique culture, because most of the time they think that most countries people don't even know where Sri Lanka is, and they think we are part of India. So when you show your own culture and the difference between Indian dance and our drums, really gives a lot of people, they are very surprised that this is something completely different to whatever they have seen before. So
now, that is a very interesting point, I think, because you're talking about actually Sri Lanka going on the map in some sense, right, and crossing the boundaries. So, Upeka, now we are after a war. So, we were, I think, mainly in the world, we were known for the war, and we were known also for the terrorist organization bombs. Now is the time to sort of rebrand and take Sri Lanka to the map, and I mean take the Sri Lankan talent as well. So, as a prima ballerina, a dancer hailing from a family with such a rich tradition, how can we actually rebrand Sri Lanka, and what can dance do to take the message of Sri Lanka across borders?
First of all, I think that see, now in our school, the Chitrasena dance company that was started in 1944, from then to now we have always tried to preserve our culture, teach our dancers, students from the age of 7. We have tried in our small way to teach them our own culture, our rituals, how we respect our teachers, and being humble, and learning to dance and learning about our culture, because I have always found that there are lots of students who come to us suddenly saying that they are going on a scholarship to another country, and would we teach them something in a hurry. And at that point I have told the children that is why the parents must understand that they should start their children at a very young age, to make them understand that learning our own culture gives you an identity, and you have your root. So when you go to another country, you don't feel lost, you feel rich, you feel that you feel proud that you have your own culture, and then you can show it off, because lots of our dance students from our Chitrasena school, there are students who have gone out to other countries to do higher studies, and they have all shone before, because whenever they had a student's performance, they would perform a Canadian dance and talk about Sri Lanka, talk about our dance, and what a rich tradition we have, and what a unique culture we have in the dance. And so then at that point they become very popular, and that is something that the parents must understand, that they have to make their children start learning at a very young age, making them understand their own culture first before they learn anything else.
Now, when you were talking about, you referred to your school of dance. Now, and also the need for parents to understand that their children, they need to be educated about Sri Lankan culture, and dance is one form. Yeah. So, can you elaborate on the efforts that you are taking to sort of take this message across?
See, we try very hard to make our children feel be very comfortable with their teacher. We always show them respect and get
this
respect.
Is in your school of
in
dance,
our school, every child, before they start the class and after they finish the class, the teacher blesses the children, and the children in return blesses the teacher and their parents, and always remember everybody at the end of every class. So for years and years in our school, we have been following this rule, and we teach that even now, even to these young students, because recently my sister Anjalika has been working on a project called Punchipad, where she teaches children like 4.5, 5, 6, and prepare them at 7 to start learning the Kandyan technique. That early stage, we teach them to meditate in the class, to keep their head in one place, close their eyes for 5 minutes. You know, very young children, it's very difficult, but they learn to do that, and within a year you can see the difference. Then they sing. We'll teach them Sinhala songs and our folk songs and traditional songs, and get them to do a little bit of a dance, or show them a little you know, discipline, how to turn their feet out, you know, prepare them for a Kandyan dance class in the future. So even there, even at that stage when they are very young, like at 4 and 5, we try to make them interested in their own culture.
And also get them to be more disciplined.
More disciplined.
Because I can remember, like being a student of yours when I was very small, how strict you were as a teacher.
Yeah.
So what can you say about how dance can add value to personality and also leadership? Because I think that is exactly what Sri Lanka also needs at a point like this. So
see, this is something that I always tell my students, that I don't expect every student, when you have 15 students in one class, that everybody is not going to become professional dancers. But whatever they learn in the school, in the dancing school, to hold their posture, to be able to walk straight, to be confident in any subject that they do. There are children who learn from us, become doctors, who go to, you know, lots of different fields. But in every field, if you are a dancer, you learn to be disciplined. That is to concentrate on what you are doing. When you are dancing, your mind has to be on what you are doing. If at any second your mind goes away, you make a mistake, because there's a lot of stress on your head if you can't concentrate, because your concentration is there, that you have to think of how you use your head, how you use your eye, because we have 5 different parts of the body that we put together to dance. So learning that itself is a kind of meditation. So for us dancers, I find that we have much more discipline, because we are being trained to always think of what you are doing. Because when you are a performer, you go on stage, whatever you are supposed to do for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, everything is in your head. You don't have a script like in drama. So for that, you have to train your mind. So I tell students, even in the class, if you learn to not to make mistakes where you know, I always find little children doing right, left, they tend to forget which leg is right leg, which leg is left leg. So to train that, you have to keep teaching them exercises and always talking to them. I always talk to them and tell them, don't worry, whatever you learn, if you learn how to hold your body well, and you learn to be healthy by dancing, you don't have a bad figure, you get a good figure, you become healthy, you try not to get involved in lots of you know, other activities, and your mind is always on your extracurricular activities where you learn to dance. If you're a dancer, you don't have time for anything else, because if you're a dancer, you have to come for training every day. So that itself is a discipline, that you learn something properly. The foundation that you put is good for any, not just to be a dancer. For any subject that you do, you become confident. That's how, as a teacher, I always try to tell children that I don't expect everybody to become a professional dancer. But we, in our school, we are very passionate about helping any dancer, any person who's interested in you know, learning to dance or learning the traditional technique properly, you know, giving your whole life, sacrificing to become a professional dancer. I know it's very difficult to be a professional dancer in this country. In most Asian countries, it's very difficult. But we have done it, and my parents have done it, I have done it. There are lots of others who have tried doing it. So some of us have to do something.
And even if this people who don't want to be professional dancers, as you said, they can still learn so many life lessons from dancing that will enhance their career options later.
Especially the mind, controlling your mind of thinking of what you are doing, which comes in the dance.
The concentration.
Yeah, concentration is so important.
So on that note, we will take a small break and we will be back with you soon. Stay with us.